Hey guys, uh, I am live, but I'll wait until I know that you can see me, because I know sometimes there's a delay. Because whenever I'm watching lives, you always kind of come in, or I always seem to come in when they've kind of in the middle of a sentence. So you can let me know. Oh, hang on. Every time, every damn time. It's always the same. See, anytime I'm watching somebody else's YouTube, it always starts off in mute and temporarily confuses me. So it does. But when I'm doing my own, it's always like full volume, blaring. I just like to hear my own voice, apparently. Ah, right. Well, it's lovely to see everyone. I was sitting waiting in the wings, so I was just watching the chat flown by, like waiting for it to come down to like exactly 9 o'clock. And I thought, why am I doing this? Why am I just sitting watching everyone like a wee creep? So I thought I'll just go live and say hey to everyone. Um, so let me just do a quick do the register like as if we're at school. So Simon's here. Hello, good evening, Simon. Thank you very much for your congratulations. Yeah, I noticed today, it was kind of when I was setting up the live, I looked and I thought, oh, 100. So I've reached 100 subscribers, which is amazing. I'm really flattered that 100 people can be bothered listening to me. So thank you very much. I've got lovely Sandra. I saw Justin. And I saw you were chatting about the Marielle. Um, so yeah, Justin was saying to me earlier on. So I've only got the first edition. Justin's only got the second edition. But I know that Simon, you've got both, and Sandra, I know that I think you used to have the first edition, didn't you? And now you've got the second. So do any of you guys find that the second edition's more blurry? Um, I wasn't able to see any kind of any major from the pictures that Justin was showing me, but yeah. Anyway, sorry. Sidetrack. We've got lovely Jackie. Hi, Jackie. We've got Ben. Hey, Ben. How are you? Aquarius Owl. We've got Zane's here. Tarot Talk and Witchery. Tarot Talk and Zanery. Who else have we got? We've got Robin. Hi, Robin. How you doing? Sophie. Hi, Sophie. How are you? You'll be listening for the first half or so. You're working at the moment. That's absolutely fine. Don't you worry. And if you need to turn, if my drolling tones are putting you off your work, then by all means, just turn me on mute or turn me off. Blue Crescent Tarot, hi there. I'm sure you're getting tired of hearing this, but it makes me so happy just to. Oh, thank you very much, and thank you for the congratulations. I really am so thankful for everyone who's here. Uh, I think that's me caught everyone that I can see anyway. If I've missed you, apologies. But hello and welcome to everyone. Welcome to Elemental Cartomancy. Yeah, I just thought I'd pop on and do my usual wee Thursday chit chat. Um, yeah, I've had a pretty exciting week, like the past week or so. So yeah, I thought I would just chat at you a wee bit. Feel free to join in and let me know how your week's been. But a week ago, Justin and I did the live for bisexuality awareness, and that I was really pleased with how that went. So thank you to everyone who was there and everyone who made it a success and made it special. Um, I probably you probably heard more of my voice than than what was intended. Probably went on a wee bit, but sometimes I can't help myself. But yeah, no, that was really good. So thank you to everyone who was there. Um, I've made wee bullet point notes as always. On Saturday, Saturday was an exciting day for several reasons. So on Saturday, I was live on Jilly's channel, Little's in Crone, and I thoroughly enjoyed every single second of it. It was amazing. Jilly's amazing. I just had such a good time. The time flew like no one's business. So it was like time up before before you knew it. Which was a shame. Because I was really enjoying it, and I said to Jilly I could have just sat and chatted with her all night. Um, but yeah, no, that was amazing, and I came off of that live like so excited. Um, I was buzzing, so I was, and I was like dead excited to go and tell Sandy how great it was and how it had went. And I got half. We've got like kind of half landing on our stairs, so I get down to the half landing, and he's coming up the stairs towards me, and he says, "I think Loki has got mites." Loki is one of my snakes. I've got two snakes. So Loki's a royal python. And snake mites aren't a good thing. You know, you don't want your snake to have mites. If they go untreated, they can be fatal. So panic stations, I was on a high for being, for my live with Jelly, and then it was like panic stations set in, like come crashing down, like stressing out like no one's business. We so we were kind of I come upstairs because basically Sandy had Loki out whilst I was on live with Gilly, and he says he noticed something crawling, and Loki's like just a wee beastie or something crawling, right? Long story short, by the way, Loki's fine, everyone's fine, all right. But I'll tell this story anyway. So we um we were kind of googling on our phones, and like I thought Loki's not. You don't need to give snakes a bath to clean them, but it can help them if they're constipated. So we try and give him a bath every, if he needs it, every so often. And baths can be good for treating mites. So all right, we'll shove him in a bath, and we use it's like a washing basket type thing, like a plastic one, obviously, but it can hold water. Put him in that. Um, to just to have his usual bath. And we're sitting googling, and we managed to calm ourselves down, satisfy ourselves that it wasn't mice, it was just some wee beastie that had happened to get into his tank. That was fine, relief floods over us. Sandy stands up. Loki's not in there. I was like, the fuck do you mean he's not in there? Loki's not in there. He'd got out of the tub. So panic stations recommence, like panicking 100 times more than what I was before. Sandy's, I'll be kind of out, close the door downstairs, checking outside the room basically, and I stayed in the room and checked the room. After about 30 seconds, it was fine. I saw him kind of coming out from behind the telly, the little shit. But so yeah, he just kind of snuck out, and he's dead quiet moving, so we never even noticed. But we got him. No snakes were harmed in the making of, of Saturday night. But after that, it was like, oh, what else can go wrong? And I was like, I was shaking, so I was. So a cup of tea was definitely very much required after all of that. But anyway, that was Saturday. How very exciting, eh? What are you all saying? You're complimenting my life, so thank you very much. I'm glad to see that some people look forward to them. That's really nice. Let's see. Right, okay, so we're talking about the Marielle, that's right. Saying hello. We see you. Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry, we're past that, aren't we? Being tagged. Working 222. Oh, Sandra, so sad that I can't make your live catch up. I'm in class at the time and I'll be watching the playback. Yeah, so Sandra's going, for anyone that doesn't know, Sandra's going live with Simon on Saturday, doing the catching up with interview. So I will be there with bells on. I can't wait for it. Um, Robin, I can quite easily put you on a 5 minute timeout, young man. Not everyone needs to know that I drank a full bottle of wine. Thank you very much. Hey Jonathan, how you doing? Jonathan's first live was through the week there, I believe, or was it last week, Jonathan? Gosh, I'm losing track. I think it was Tuesday, wasn't it? But that was really good. I managed to catch the tail end of it, so I did. So that was really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Hi, El. I've just seen you pop in and say hi. Um, Zane, my sleep schedule has been so jacked up. I've been missing lives, but I always look forward to them. Wonder if anyone has a copy of like all lives that are on in our circle. I'd like to put it in my journal. Ah, that's quite a good idea. I've made up so see how you know how like my channel name I basically made up a Gmail account to go with that. So it's got its own Gmail calendar. So like elementalcartomancy@gmail.com. That's my email address for this account and it's got its own calendar. So I've actually got a yeah, so what am I trying to say? Right, let's just take a wee drink. And let's try and start that again. So we've well established that there's a calendar that goes with my Gmail account. How very exciting. But what I was trying to say was I've I tried to like start putting in lives. So I know I've definitely got Elle's Monday Night Live in there. Simon's not Wednesday, Saturday afternoon live is in there. So I'd kind of started doing that, but that was the kind of idea. That was what I was aiming to do was kind of have a, have basically have my phone tell me, Elle's going live, get your arse up to the PC type thing. Do you know, my hair's a mess. I've got like some Harry Potter hairdo going on today, so I have. So I'm going to try and read the comments from over this side so as that you can't see my sticky up head at the back. Um, oh, Julie J's asking a question, right? Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that. So Julie, I'm chit-chatting just now. I'm just talking shite just now, but I will get to readings quite soon. So bear with. Your question is pasted. Right, I think I've caught up with most of the comments, but as always, tag me capital letters if there's something that I'm missing, guys. Okay. Um, so that was Saturday. Sunday was it was a reasonably quiet day. On Monday we had I want to talk about Ellen Shane's live because they were talking about grimoires, and if a blue spanner could maybe post a link to Ellen Shane's channel. So they were talking about grimoires, and I think, and Elle, you can correct me if you've changed your mind here, but I think that they're going to do like a wee mini series on putting a grimoire together, basically. So I'm actually quite excited about that, and that's coming from me. I'm not like I don't know how to describe it. I'm not like a witchy person or anything like that. I read tarot, and that's pretty much as far as I read cards, and that's pretty much as far as my spirituality goes. But it's funny because I was talking to Nerys recently about the Sabbats. So and I was thinking I would quite fancy, getting to know the Sabbats a bit more and maybe like kind of looking into what kind of traditions are and stuff like that. Um, and then I think we're talking about like kind of things like candle magic and all that kind of stuff. So it's basically going to be a wee mini series putting together a grimoire. So see for anyone else like me who's like loves stationery, who's a pure stationery geek, this is your chance to like get yourself a really nice kind of book, something like. So I've got this that I just use as a journal, but I'm kind of tempted to get another, get another one as well, like a wee A5, like nice kind of leather bound or something nice, something ethical, something nice, and put together a wee grimoire with the mini series. So that's really exciting. On Saturday coming, I am privileged to be going live with our lovely hen. Um, So Hen and Jilly are doing live readings early on our Saturday, on British Saturday, and I think it's at noon. I think it's at 12 p.m. British time. They're going to be doing our readings live, and then later on in at 10 p.m. British time on the Saturday, and it'll be Hen's 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. We are going to do a wee live, and I'm going to be chatting away to Hen. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really so privileged that I'm getting to catch up with two amazing people um, in our community in such quick succession. And then I believe on Monday I'm live with Robin. Robin, is that right? So it's an exciting week ahead. It's been an exciting week so far. Um, yeah. And also, the other thing I wanted to tell you, um, so you know that I watch my niece on a Monday, but because they're having electric works, wiring stuff done in their house just now. So basically, their house is, there's wires everywhere. So last night I got Sophie came over and slept over here, and tonight's the same. They've needed me to take her again. So the wee one's in her bed just now, fast asleep. Um, so yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice to kind of spend that a wee bit of extra time with her. So it is. She sleeps for most of it, which she's no means she's no hassle. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's nice. That's exciting. So yeah, um, 1st October today, guys. So yeah, spooky season coming up for Halloween at the end of the month. So what's everybody's kind of spooky season things that they do? What do we all like to do at this time of year? And I shall look through the comments again. Has Nerys popped in? I said someone say morning, Nerys. Oh, there you are, Nerys. I was just talking about you. Talk about the devil and she shall appear. Nerys's son Caleb has put up 2 new walkthroughs. He's done a walkthrough of the Shadowlands and a walkthrough of the Deviant Moon, which I'm going to be using tonight. So definitely check them out. They're really good. Justin's going to catch up with Jonathan's first live. Yeah, so Tarot Token Witchery is our Zane, who was previously the Toke Witch. Sandra, have you ever ridden a motorcycle or worn black leather? I can't picture it. Did that come from somewhere or what the fuck? How fast an hour? It's amazing how fast an hour goes when you're live. Yeah, do you know, you're right. I better keep my eye on the time. That's 20 past already. Um, thank you, Elle, for doing that. You've posted a link to your channel. That's amazing. Gosh, it just keeps scrolling out. It's going to have to be back to looking for orange and capitals, guys. Sorry. Hen's popped in. Someone said hello to Hen. Is Hen kicking about? Oh yeah, there you're there, Hen. Hi, I was just talking about you as well. Oh, the chat jumped there, so it did. Speaking of inclusive decks, I'm so excited for the True Heart Tarot coming on the 13th. It's not one that I've heard about. I'll need to look it up. The True Heart Tarot. A Tarot Tube TV guide. Yeah, totally agree, Neem. Jackie, just to say. You're reading for my friend and selling her home came true. Oh, that's really good. I'm glad to hear that. Excellent. So everything went well then, Jackie? Like things went okay and everyone's happy and stuff, I take it then? 'Cause that's really good. I'm glad to hear that. So Nerys is heading into Beltane. So warm and using flowers, making maples, etc. Oh, that's really good. Who said that? But it was Robin, El. Robin was asking Sandra about wearing black leather and being on a motorcycle. I don't know. Uh, it's made by Rachel True, one of the actresses from the. Oh, I did hear about this. Yeah, someone I heard about it. I heard someone mentioning something about one of the actresses from The Craft. So yeah, no, I did hear about it. Thank you. Sorry, Chris, but can you say it again? What series you're doing? Hubby was chatting to me and I missed it. Is it Elle and Shane's series on Wolf Meets Witch that I was talking about? I think that's the only one I was talking about, wasn't it? So Elle and Shane on their channel Wolf Meets Witch, hen, they are doing a series on putting together a grimoire. So uh, I would imagine like kind of each week we're going to be looking at different things. So um, last week was kind of like um, you know, the first kind of week, and we were just throwing together ideas of what you would put in your grimoire. So there were things like favorite tarot spreads, candle magic. I can't remember. Sabbats. Sabbats is something that I'm quite excited to kind of learn about and kind of put together and stuff. Um, find out about and whatnot. So yeah, Els posted a link to it above, Hen. Yeah, definitely have a wee look at that. Um, it's good. Yeah, it will. It'll be so good. I can't wait. Um, Pre-order the True Heart Tarot. It's made by Rachel True, who was in the Craft movie and is a witch. All right, okay. I didn't realise she was a witch. Right, okay. I think I've caught up with the chat. The only other thing I was going to talk about, are you into witchy things? Um, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of open to learning more about it, Sandra. But right now, I don't have any kind of rituals or practices or anything that you would really call witchy, I guess. I pretty much read cards and that's all, folks. But like I say, I'm interested in finding out about the Sabbats. I'm interested in finding out about, more about like what we were talking about, candle magic, crystals and stuff as well. Crystals isn't something I've got some crystals in my cupboard, but I don't use them. It's not something that I have out. But again, I'm really interested in learning all of this stuff. And seeing what happens. But to be honest, I'm just a pure stationery geek. See the idea of having a book, you know, like put together with all this juicy knowledge and stuff and secrets, and I just like the idea of that alone. So yeah, I hope that I will see everyone at the Grimoire series. So Elle says the same, yeah. There's nothing better than just a good bit of stationery, is there? I'm thinking about buying myself a nice like fountain pen or something. Right, I'm geeking out here. I'm going to stop. You can tell how excited I am because I'm starting to get a bit camp. So let's just, you're clearly all used to me being very butch and manly. So I don't want to disappoint. The only other thing I was going to say that I had to chat about. I've been doing these kind of daily readings for myself. And it's just 3 cards: strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities. And I got the idea from Vincent Petici. Petici. Um, we want Camp Chris. No one wants Camp Chris. Yeah, Vincent Petici was talking about this in one of his videos. Yeah, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. Um, Basically to look at the day ahead, and then once I've got my three cards and I've analysed them and stuff. In fact, you would have saw I put up a video through the week, maybe on Tuesday was it? I put up a wee video of my daily reading, so it's exactly that. Um, Once I've read them, I kind of add them up and reduce them and get to either something between 1 and 21 or 1 and 10, whatever your preference is. But um, I've been doing like kind of between 1 and 10 and seeing what number it gives me, and then reading the numerology. Um, so what I've noticed, it's actually quite, I don't know, synchronistic if you want to call it that. So I've noticed that. So on the first day, my opportunities card was the 7 of coins, and on the second day, my strength card was the 7 of coins, and my opportunities card was the Hierophant. So second day would have been yesterday, yeah. So that was quite cool that my opportunity turned into a strength. But then today, where I got the Hierophant as my opportunity yesterday, I got the Hierophant as my weakness today. So I think it's just really interesting. It's interesting that the same cards keep cropping up because I got the 7 of coins as my strength again today. So 7 of coins has turned up every day and strengths the last 2 days. And then the fact that the opportunities cards are moving throughout the reading, I don't know. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to stuff like that. I just find it really interesting. So yeah, if anyone asks for general readings today, I think I'll maybe do like a wee strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities reading for you, unless you would prefer something different. So yeah, um, right. I've got one question, so I'll move on to doing some readings. Um, if anyone wants to ask a question and wants me to read for them, then like the ticker says at the bottom, just post your question in capital letters. But let's just quickly catch up in the comments. So, John and Daly, Campgrass. Good to know. For me, it just said we'll let you know when they're able to get an expected delivery date. Is that this tarot deck that the witchy person from Craft brought out that I've forgotten the name of? How bad is that? Um, Jen said, I'll take strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities, please. Cool. I shall paste that into my list. I'm just using this private chat thing on StreamYard because don't use it for anything else, It's not like I'm, like having wee chats with my table cam here, which I'll now add to the stream actually now that I say it. Move all this shit out the way. Right, okay, so I think we had Julie J, you asked a question, didn't you? You're first up, so let's do you a wee reading. So you've asked, will I meet someone new in 2021? And you said stay safe. So it's a yes no question. I often find, Julie, that the tarot doesn't lend itself very well to yes no questions, but I'm sure there's a way that we could word that's that's not a yes no question. So how about if we just have a wee look at the energy around your romantic life or your kind of relationship life in 2021? If we just kind of broaden it out to that, would you be okay with that? Hopefully that's okay. Like I say, I just don't feel that the tarot is the best thing for like yes no questions. You'd be as well flipping a coin, to be honest. Yeah, cool. That's fine. So I think for this question, we'll maybe do a wee situation, advice, and outcomes spread. Okay. Okay, so for the situation, we've got the Hierophant. Oh, sorry, Jonathan, I'm going to have to move you out of the way. So just do this. There we go. Right, we've got Hierophant for the situation. Um, we've got the Ace of Cups popping up. That's always good in a relationship reading. And then for the outcome, we've got the Three of Coins. Okay, cool. So there's a lot about working with other people here, which is positive when you're asking a relationship question. The fives, and in particular the Hierophant, for me, the fives are bringing in that dynamic of other people. When you think about, things like the Five of Swords and the Five of Wands, they're all kind of, it's like introducing other people into the dynamic, whether it's competition, whether it's failure and winning, that kind of thing. The fives are kind of, they bring other people into the dynamic. So the situation is that there's other people coming in. With a Hierophant, there often comes that kind of expectation from the people around about you. Okay, so make sure you stay true to yourself. That expectation isn't always a bad thing, but sometimes the people around about us can put expectations on us and expect us to be something that we're not. That's always something that I get from the Hierophant, unfortunately, and it's just that kind of idea of that Pope energy. So it's great that you're asking a question about relationships, romance, and that kind of thing. And well, pretty much in all of these cards, we're seeing, we are seeing that kind of thing. We are seeing someone else coming into the picture, but just make sure you don't lose yourself along the way, is what I would say. For the advice, we've got the Ace of Cups, right? So potential to make a new emotional connection there, which is amazing, which is great. That's exactly what you're wanting. Um, the Ace is obviously just the potential card. It's the very beginning. It's something that we need to work at, and we're seeing that in the last card as well. The Three of Pentacles is the work card, but it's the working with other people card, which you know I want to say, in answer to your original question, your yes, no question, I want to say yeah, because that is really the kind of energy that I'm seeing here. I'm seeing really kind of positive vibes for your kind of relationship status, I guess. Um, but obviously, you will need to work at it. We're seeing that in both these cards. This is telling you that we've got the potential there. You can't rest on when you see the Ace of Cups. That's not telling you, you're going to let that's not the happily ever after card. That's the very beginning. That's the once upon a time card. You need to build on that. You need to work on that, and you're seeing that really coming in there. And I mean, for a Pentacles card to come up in a relationship reading, so really kind of focusing in on the kind of physical things. I'm not going to start getting X-rated here. Don't worry, that's not what I'm talking about. But things like kind of having wee date days. Um, doing things together, going out together. Of course, that the passion is important, that emotional bond is important, but it's also important to just kind of generally enjoy yourselves together, live a good life together. That seems to be like kind of the way that it's going. So hopefully that that gels with you, that resonates with you. You can let me know. Give me a wee bit of feedback. You said you're cool with that. That's good. If you're cool with it, I'm cool with it. But definitely, Ace of Cups is always good for a wee relationship reading. So let me just catch up and see if I've got any other questions, because I know that I had Juliet and I've got Hen had asked for. Yeah, that was there. Jackie, a general reading. Cool. I'm just pasting these in, guys. Just bear with. Talk amongst yourselves. It's a shame I can't put on a wee tune into it. See that? What's that? Mos Espa tune from Star Wars. Do, 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 do. You know that one? Just whilst I'm doing this. Justin, how long will it take for me to get back to my routine? Interesting. Okay. Spare me to get off my fear. Anytime you feel like you want to read, then you send me a wee message and you can come live with me. There's no pressure for you to read every single reading. I'm quite happy for you to go last each time. You can throw your cards. You can wait for me to finish spieling, chatting, and talking shite. And then if you feel comfortable and you feel that you want to read the cards that are in front of you, then you're more than welcome to do that. If not, there's no pressure on you to do so. So if you feel that that would kind of, that would kind of be a good wee icebreaker for you, then just you let me know. You'd be more than welcome anytime. Um, Aquarius Owl. And that goes for anyone, by the way. So I've seen that Zane, you've said the same thing. I wonder how. Do you know, Jonathan? I thought that was a question there. I was getting ready to paste that over. How long was my face going to be there? But then I realised you were talking about your comment. um, oh gosh, my chat just jumped. That's not good. So there's nothing worse than someone sitting saying during a live, is there? Jonathan, what is my shoulder injury meant to teach me? Get stronger painkillers. I'm joking. Talking shite now that I can do. Thank you. Simon, anytime, I know it's supposed to be me that messages you, isn't it? Honestly, I'd be delighted. It'd be a privilege for me to come on and be interviewed by you. So, yeah, we can catch up and we can arrange it. But really, anytime at all. Right, I think that I've got all the questions. So let me just read out the names that I've got on my list here. So we've just done Julie, I've got Hen, I've got Jackie, Jacaranda, but Justin, I've got Aquarius Owl, and I've got Jonathan. So if there's anyone who's asked me a question who I've not just read out your name, then chin me, let me know. Use my tag so as it goes orange and use capital letters if you can, please, so as that just shows that it really highlights to me. Excuse me. Deal. It's a deal. Right, okay. So, Hen, we're going to do a wee strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities for you. So I'm using the Deviant Moon, by the way, because I decided I wanted to kind of start working with this deck, and because it's October, because it is a wee bit more of a, I don't want to say dark deck. It's not really dark, is it? But I don't know. It's just a bit more unusual. I thought it was a good wee spooky season deck, and I'm going to at some point use my Raven's Prophecy as well. Oh, Hen, your strength is the Ace of Swords. Page of Pentacles. Judgment. Opportunity. So the Ace of Swords is your strength. I blooming well wish I had that as a strength. So for me, the Ace of Swords, it's all the kind of usual stuff, that potential for, to gain that understanding, to have that intellectual process. But really, when you kind of dig deep, the Ace of Swords is all about that beginner mindset. It's about approaching something new with that beginner mind. Being able to kind of take what you already know out of the situation, being able to put that aside, and being able to truly throw yourself into something and learn something new, because that is a skill that not very well, in my opinion, not very many people have. A lot of us, our egos get in the way. We think that we know some stuff, and when you think you know something, that actually stops. Quite often, it will stop you from being able to open up to new information and being able to learn something new, because your ego's like, it kind of just wants to get in the way, and it wants to show how brilliant you are and that you want to, um, show that you, yeah, it just wants to show off. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So the fact that the Ace of Swords is a strength, um, shows that you're a very intellectual person, and I can totally see that for you, Hen. And it shows that you are open to learning new stuff, to learning new information, and to just generally starting a kind of new path. All right. So that's a good strength. That's an amazing strength. That's a strength that I wish I had, and I doubt if I'm ever going to see the Ace of Swords in that position, if I'm honest with you, because that's something that I personally struggle with. But this isn't about me. This is about Hen. So let's move on. We've got the Page of Pentacles in the weakness position. So that is interesting. So me and Justin were talking about court cards today. So for me, the pages are the learners. They're the kind of new starters. They throw themselves into something new. Now, what I would say about the Page of Pentacles, more often than not, if he's doing something, there's something in it for him. Hence, you maybe aren't so good at being selfish. You're not selfish enough. You're not good enough at putting yourself first. Now, I feel as though I'm cheating a wee bit, because I watched your video that you posted just a couple of days ago. And that was basically the vibe that I got, was you're not always the best at putting yourself first. You find it really difficult to do. I feel that that's really echoing that. The Page of Pentacles, he's eager to learn. He'll throw himself into like new things, and he'll be really, really good at kind of learning how to do things, particularly like kind of physical things, that we associate with that material physical suit of pentacles. But there's always something in it for him. If he's learning something, you can be damn sure that he's either making money out of it, or it's going to benefit him in the long run. So you need to practice at that, Hen. You need to, if you're going to be doing something, it needs to work for you as well. All right. And then opportunity, you've got judgment. Judgment's an interesting one, because judgment's probably one of my favorite cards. Judgment, it's that process of, looking at every aspect of yourself. It's basically the last card. It's the last kind of trial before we get to that kind of world card, before we get to that kind of amazing completion, where we're fully realized. Judgment is where we look at all the things that are holding us back. Not I noticed through the week, right? I noticed that whenever I reach for judgment, I'm always I'm honing in on the negative things, but it's not always just about the negatives. It's about looking at everything together, the positives and the negatives. Give yourself a pat on the back for the positives, all the amazing things that you've done so far, all the amazing things that you've learned, but also all the negative stuff that you can perhaps still learn something from, all the things that are holding you back just because you maybe feel a sense of shame, or that kind of, sometimes you just think of stuff that you've said or done, stuff that's happened to you, and you just cringe, and it kind of takes over your mind for a split second. It's those kind of things that you've got the opportunity to deal with, and really kind of, as they like to say in my slim world class, if you've had a bad day, if you ordered a pizza or something and ate a pizza, don't let it ruin the rest of your week. Draw a line under it and move on and have a good rest of the week. So it's this draw a line under it that was the point there. Judgment, it's all about drawing a line under those things and saying, I'm not letting them hold me back anymore. I'm going to go on and have a great rest of the day, rest of the week, rest of the year, whatever, you know. So yeah, so the last thing that I like to do with these, is we add them up and then we reduce it down. So we've got 20. I'm going to say the page is 11, so that's 31 plus the ace. So we get to 32, and then 3 plus the 2 is the 5. Okay, so there's this overall kind of 5. 5 is, I'd said in the first reading, that is where we introduce other people into the mix, and we get that kind of sense of conflict. It can be change, can be a difficult number 5. So the overall kind of tone that we're seeing here is maybe a bit of difficulty, a bit of competition. But the competition isn't always necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it's a necessary step. See, when we're, when we're building ourselves up, when we're in our endeavours, we need to see how we match up against everyone else. We can't just live in a bubble forever where there's no other factors. Those factors need to come into play eventually. So, yeah, that's the kind of overall tone, just a wee kind of extra bit of information for you, Hen. So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. It makes so much. Oh, that's good. It's always nice to hear when a reading makes sense, because sometimes I can just blah, 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 and then I realise like 10 minutes ago the person said, I don't know, it's not that you've picked it up wrong, or it's not that word, I've picked up a word wrong or something. So cool. Right, I'm still trying to just keep my eye on the chat. Query Sil just brought out the Deviant Moon in the Shadowland for October. Justin's going to pull his out too. Yeah, your deck. That's good. Thanks for specifying, Justin. That's good to know. Feel the need for a change. Oh, Jen's Balanced Arrow. Hi, Jen. I saw Jen, you posted a video. I don't know if you saw my comment on it, but I just love the way you phrase things. Jen, instead of saying I bought a whole shitload of decks, Jen said, now what was it? Through no fault of my own, I appear to have amassed a number of decks that have come into my house. In other words, you bought some decks. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. That made me laugh. So anyway, so the chat went dead. Oh, that's actually quite good. That means that I don't have hunters and if the chat's going dead while I'm talking, then it means I don't have lots and lots of messages to catch up on. James, I totally need a Chris reading one of these days, but can never stick around long enough due to these pesky work readings. Anytime, Jen. Just send me a wee message. Right. Do you know? So Jen said there. I thought you might have meant the way that indicate things. My mouth is moving faster than my brain. Do you know? This is just totally, almost unrelated and pretty random piece of information. But they say that see people with messy handwriting, that just means that their brain is working fast in their hand. So it's the sign of an intelligent person. So I've got really neat handwriting, so I have. So there you go. What does that mean? Does that mean I'm daft? Right, who's next? We've got Jackie for a general reading too. So we're going to do a wee strengths, weaknesses and opportunities for you too, Jackie. Right, Jackie. Lots of court cards coming out today, haven't we? Right, okay. So we've got the Knight of Cups for your strengths, Jackie. The Knight of Cups action especially when it comes to your feelings and when it comes to, making emotional connections. Um, Tells me that you're probably, as a person, you're probably a really warm, bubbly person and really kind of um, approachable, um, which really comes across when we speak to you in the chat. Um, I'm going to move on to weaknesses and I'll come back to strengths, all right? Weaknesses, so strength is a card that's it's all about letting aspects of yourself out. Um, so there's parts of all of us that we can hide from the outside world, you know. Um, and for different people, it will be different things. Okay. So for me, for example, most of the only person who's really kind of in my actual sphere, in my what am I trying to say, my friends and family that knows that I read tarot is Sandy, really, and obviously like my mum and that because I did it when I was younger, but they don't know that I do it now. I choose to hide that aspect of myself. Um, Strength is all about having the courage to say, "Fuck it, I don't care what anybody thinks. This is me. I don't care what you think. I'm letting it out," kind of thing. Um, so there's maybe a bit of a suggestion that you struggle to do that, Jackie. Okay. Um, and that's that. So it's obviously coming up for a reason. So there's maybe something that it's wanting you to work on because there's an opportunity here. We've got the Six of Wands. Now we think of Six of Wands as being the victory card, but I like to really pull on the kind of energy exchange aspect of the Six of Wands. So we've got someone who's been celebrated here. We've got all the people celebrating him. Well, here in this one, it looks as though he's come out of a flower, which is a bit random. But the idea is that there's been some sort of victory. This person is celebrating their victory, and everyone else is cheering them on. Okay, so the other people are being able to kind of draw. They're all being energized by living vicariously through his endeavors and his achievements. And this person is obviously being energized by the crowd who are all cheering him on. So this is very much an energy exchange type card. Um, so what to me this is saying is that if you can get over your fear of or get over your tendency to maybe not put yourself out there as much, then you've got the opportunity to have this feeling of victory and glory and have this energy exchange with people that you perhaps weren't open to before. Okay. The Knight of Cups, I think, is there as a strength to let you know that you can do it because the Knight of Cups, he is very kind of action based and he is all about kind of forming those emotional connections. Um, like I'd said about you, you're a very warm person. Everybody loves Jackie Jacaranda. Do you know what I mean? And everybody loves the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is really he's on his horse. He's not like kind of charging in full speed. He's very kind of gently trotting along. He's not, I'm trying to think of a word, and as per usual, I won't be able to think of it until after the reading. Um, but he's a very kind of amicable person. And everyone loves the Knight of Cups. So your personality, that kind of warm and bright personality, is a strength of yours, Jackie, and that's going to come into play here. Okay. So let's add up. We've got 6, we've got 11. Oh, I've just realised strength is 11 in this deck. I never noticed that before. So 6 and 11 is 17, plus the Knight would be 12, so 19, 29. 9 and 2 is 11, which is strength. So the real focus here for you, Jackie, is this message with the strength card. All right. So if this resonates at all, if you know what I'm talking about, if there's aspects of you that like I was saying, I read tarot, but not a lot of people know that about me. If it's something like that, if it's something that you particularly enjoy, or maybe it's an aspect of your personality, So maybe it's just part of who you are that you find hard to kind of let the world see. But the reading is that what's been said here is to really kind of focus in on that weakness and see if you can work on it. And I know that is really easy for me to say, but I'm hoping that just in hearing me saying it, you'll kind of think to yourself, actually, that he's maybe talking about this. And do you know what? Since he said that, maybe I'll make a wee conscious effort to put myself out there a wee bit more. So it says called out. Yes, right, okay, that's good. I'm glad that that made sense. I'm always feared that I kind of say that kind of thing, and then you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm an open book. Everyone knows everything about me. But no, that's fine. Hi, Masha. And anyone else who's come in, by the way, that I've not said hi to. Neem, I'm not sure if I specifically said hello to you. So, hi, it's lovely to see you. Next up, I've got Justin. So, you'd asked how long will it take for me to get back to my routine with the gym, etc. So, you mean you're talking? So, Justin had a wee operation yesterday. And oops, I'm assuming that that's what you're meaning, Justin, just kind of back into your usual routine. This will be interesting. So you've asked me for a time. How long? I wonder what's going to come up here. Right, so how am I going to do this? Right, Justin, I'm going to go for this, right? I'm going to pull 3 cards. I'm going to pull 1 card for when. I'm going to pull 1 card for how, because I think it's just as important to understand what you need to do. Because, I could say to you, oh, you're going to recover in, however a week. But and I think you definitely would have the potential to recover in a week or a month or whatever it is. But I think obviously it's important that you would need to take care of yourself. Do you know what I mean? So you could like kind of do everything that you need to achieve that recovery and recover within the time that you're meant to. But equally, you could be an absolute fanny and you could, go out fandango dancing and all that kind of thing. I don't know why fandango dancing was the first thing that popped into my head there, but hey, and you could stop. So I'm going to pull a card for when, a card for how, and we'll pull a wee kind of direction outcome type card. And we'll see how we got on. I'm interested in how we're going to get on with the when though. Okay, so when got the High Priestess, how the Devil, and outcome, we've got the Ace of Swords. Okay. I'm going to read these backwards to give myself plenty of time to think about the when. So, outcome. So, where are we looking? What direction are things going on? So, the Ace is a new beginning. The Ace is the suit of the mind and the intellect and the understanding, though. So, what I want to say is that through this process of having the operation and kind of consulting with the doctors and stuff, you're maybe going to learn something new. You're maybe going to understand something that you maybe didn't understand before, and it's going to open you up to a whole new kind of journey. Okay, so be open to that. Um, I kind of get the feeling that maybe it's unexpected. That you're maybe not expecting to get anything, any new kind of information or understanding out of the whole process. Maybe it'll just be that you grow as a person, you learn something new about yourself, that kind of thing. But I'm definitely seeing something new. For the how, we've got the devil, which is interesting. The devil for me, the devil card, very driven by desire. But with the devil, you've really got to watch who is actually in the driver's seat, who is pulling the strings, you know, who is doing, what reason is it that you're doing the things that you're doing. So when we're consumed by that devil energy, we quite often associate that with, being manipulated, and essentially what it comes down to is someone manipulating our desires, someone sees that Chris really likes a drink on a Saturday night. They might want to take advantage of that, they might think, well, if I just kind of give him a couple more bottles of wine, then I might be able to gain out of that. That's devil energy. It's manipulating you through your desires. Now, the message here, this kind of thinking about what you're doing and why you're doing it, what advice have your doctors given you? What have you been told? Don't be going back to work early. Don't be going against the advice that you've been given. All right, because that's the advice that you need to listen to, and that's the advice that's going to facilitate the best recovery for you. So don't be going against that. For the timing, I don't think that you're looking at long, to be honest, Justin, because the High Priestess 2, she's the she's the third card in from the majors. She's the third card in from the whole tarot, really. So we're not looking at a big, arduous, drawn out, long recovery period. It's probably going to be pretty quick, probably before you even really need to worry too much about, the ins and outs and having to kind of juggle different things and change things about. I don't sense that you're going to have to deal with all that. It's going to be pretty kind of quick for you, which I suppose is quite positive. But just make sure that you stick by the advice that you've been given. Don't let your own selfish desires lead you down a bad road, So if you find yourself thinking, look, I know that they've told me that I shouldn't do X, Y, Z. I shouldn't, like, for example, go to the gym, but I really want to go to the gym because I like to go to the gym every day. That's not going to get you where you want to be. So yeah, hopefully that hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that kind of gives an answer to your question. So to just put them all together, we've got 15, so 16 plus 2 is 17, 18. So 16, 17, 18 is the moon. So we can look at that. The moon, that is the moon, isn't it? 16 is the tower, 17 is the star, and 18 is the moon. So, I mean, the moon is like uncharted territory, isn't it? It's that uncomfortable, unfamiliar. It's like being in the freaky deaky zone, Not a lot of people are comfortable in that, but Justin, I know that you've got a lot of water in your chart. I know that you're a Pisces, and I know that if anyone is equipped to dealing with this moon phase that you're going through, it's you. So yeah, and then I suppose if we put them together again, it's the Hermit, and you are going to have to be a bit more reserved. You are going to have to spend a bit more time in your cave recovering and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I see. So let me see let me just catch up on some comments. So I think with High Priestess it could be right, okay, yeah, fair enough, totally. Full moon. I think have we got a full moon tonight, guys? Is it tonight or tomorrow that we've got a full moon? Cool. Okay, I hope that was okay. As always, let me know if you've got any feedback. Aquarius Owl, strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities. Cool, let's do that. Jonathan says full moon tonight. Perfect night to be doing tarot readings then, isn't it? With the deviant moon. who've all got moons for their faces. There's moons everywhere. I'm going to take a wee drink actually. Right, Aquarius Owl, if you are still here, let's look at you. Okay, strengths, weaknesses. No, but judgment's really kind of, it's got a lot to say for itself tonight, hasn't it? Judgment. Okay, strengths. Aquarius Owl. 10 of fire. You're obviously really comfortable being in that high energy zone, high passion zone. I would imagine, looking at this, that you're one of these people that really kind of thrives under pressure in a working environment type thing. Okay, so whereas with me, when things too much starts piling on top of me, I tend to kind of just go to the bad place, where my productivity goes down rather than up, which is what we really need it to do. But I don't see that for you. I see you being the opposite. All right. Um, Obviously, Ten of Wands, quite often what we're needing to do with the Ten of Wands is split the work down into, smaller bite-sized pieces. So what that is maybe also saying is that you've got good perspective, and you're good at kind of prioritizing and knowing what you need to do. For weaknesses, we've got the Six of Cups. So that's interesting because for me, the Six of Cups, it's about, thinking about your mindset. Yeah, mindset. Um, in this depiction, and I really kind of love this card. This is probably my favorite card in the Deviant Moon deck. We've got the kids and they're watching this puppet show, and in the puppet show we've got like the angel figure and this demon figure, and it just kind of puts me in mind of, like, see, when you're a kid, you look at everything's either really good or really bad. Everything's black and white. Everything's someone's either a goodie or they're a baddie. You think about kids' TV shows, like the Power Rangers is what I used to watch, and whatever else kids watch. Everything's either really good or really bad. There's no grey areas. Um, which, sometimes it's good just to get yourself back into that. Look at things as a child would. Um, and it's interesting to have that for a weakness. So as a weakness, is that maybe saying that you maybe struggle to navigate those grey areas? I mean, don't we all? Uh, let's look at the opportunity. For opportunity, we've got judgment. So I think was it Jackie that had judgment earlier on? Someone had judgment earlier on. So, like I'd said then, judgment it's about drawing that line and being able to move on. Drawing that line under everything all those kind of negative things that hold you back. Look at yourself as a whole. Look at all the aspects of your personality. Look at all the kind of events from your past. Um, all of the positives and all of the negatives. You need to look at them all as one, learn what you can learn from them, and move on. Okay, so give yourself a good pat in the back for all the stuff that you're proud of and you're happy about, the stuff that you're not so happy about, the stuff that's negative, the stuff that still kind of, it still haunts you. You know, there's an opportunity there for you to deal with that stuff. Okay, and depending on what skeletons you've got in your closet, what ghosts there are in your past, there's different ways of dealing with different issues, dealing with different things. All right. But there's definitely an opportunity there for you to deal with it. Now, it's interesting that we see the Six of Cups, which, you know, I talked about taking a simpler mindset, but sometimes it can be literally thinking back to your past, looking back to your kind of childhood. Maybe there are some things from the past that you are going to have the opportunity to deal with, and not only deal with, but move on from, because that's what judgment is about. It's about kind of moving on from that, and moving on to that kind of that world card, that ecstasy, that amazing kind of sense of achievement, of completion. So if we add them up, we've got judgments 20, we've got 26, we've got 36. 3 and 6 is 9. So we've got the hermit. So lots of deep thinking, lots of time, not in physical isolation, but just in that kind of emotional, psychological isolation, where you spend some time, doing some soul searching, doing some deep thinking. Like I'd said, with this judgment, it is about kind of thinking about all of the kind of things and, dealing with them. And the hermit, the 9 energy, that hermit energy, it's about that as well. So yeah, let me know if any of that makes sense. Also, let me know if it doesn't make sense. Did you see yourself in these cards? Okay. Robin couldn't make that card out, thought it was the Chariot. Was that the middle one, Robin? No, it's the Six of Cups. Okay. Hermit card is my card for October, for my year ahead. Yeah, I find it doing this and then adding them up at the end, there's just so many synchronicities. Yeah, what did I get today when I added them together? Whatever I got today when I added them together was one of the cards that was already on the table. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. Right, and then we've got Jonathan. What lesson is my shoulder injury meant to teach me? So my doctor actually told me that. He said everyone's different and listen to your body. That wouldn't be the High Priestess, though. I think that would be more the Empress. I think when someone says listen to your body, it's an intuitive process though, isn't it? So it's got that aspect of the High Priestess as well. It's got that kind of understanding of the self, that quiet understanding of the self, So I definitely see the High Priestess in that as well, Justin. So I think Jonathan is the last reading, and then we can maybe call it a night, guys. Unless I've missed anyone, or if anyone else wants to ask a question for the cards or just for me in general. What lesson is my shoulder injury meant to teach me? Just going to do a situation, advice, and outcome. No, actually, what I'll do is one card for the lesson, one card for do this, and one card for don't do this. How does that sound? Oh, for goodness sake, I've got cards that are just turning around by themselves. And Demon Moon is not a good deck for them to do that with. Ten of Cups turned around itself there, Jonathan, so spend time with your family. Don't be so on the go. Just enjoy the change of pace, as much as it might frustrate you. But make the most of it. So sorry, that was just a flipper, just a card that turned around. So these are your actual cards. So for the lesson, we've got Five of Wands. Okay. And then we've got the King of Wands for do this. And for don't do this, interesting, we've got the Empress. Right, do this is speaking to me loudest because it's kind of what I was just saying. The King of Wands, he's got the fire element in him, but he's also got that kingly air element in him, okay? The King of Wands is he's got the balance right between action and, sitting back and assessing the overall situation. So as a king, all of the kings they link to the emperor and they're concerned with their kingdom. They're good at sitting back and they protect the overall stability of the kingdom, okay? You can look at the king as being like that kind of team manager type energy, where they basically oversee everything. They set the rules. They make sure that everyone keeps to the rules, and they basically make sure that everything kind of keeps trudging along, that the system keeps working. But at the same time, he's still got that Wands energy. He's got that fire energy, and it's really hard to keep the King of Wands, chained to his seat. So here you can see that he's not sitting on a throne somewhere overseeing a kingdom. He's actually out, kind of spending time with his family. So again, I'll cast back to what I'd said when that Ten of Cups flipped round. Use the time, Jonathan. You really need to get the balance right here between when to be active and full of energy and doing loads of shit, and you need to know when it's time to kind of expend less energy, sit back, let yourself recover, and just enjoy the time that you've got to do that. All right. um what not to do. So for the Empress, what not to do. It's interesting, right? So I wouldn't normally read the Empress this way, but on this particular card, you can see she's kind of looking fearfully behind her. And I've got the kind of Big Deviant Moon book, and Patrick Valens talks about this. He describes the Empress as someone who is just starting out on that kind of motherhood journey. There's this vine is being created from within her, and it's just starting to flower. But you can see that she's looking back, and she's a bit fearful that she's like, my life is never going to be the same again. All of a sudden, I've got all these responsibilities, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I used to enjoy myself. I used to put my stiletto heels on at the weekend and go out drinking with the girls and have a right good party to myself. And now all of a sudden I've got this big vine coming out of my arse and I've got to make sure that the flower stays okay. What's that all about? So that's the kind of energy that we're pulling from this Empress card. Now, I'm not suggesting for a minute that you don your stiletto heels, Jonathan, and that you go out dancing with the girls. I think what it's saying is don't don't compare past and future. Live in the now, which is kind of the same message as what's there. Live in the now. Don't think about the future and all of the responsibility that's going to be on your shoulders. So in your case, I suppose we're looking more at a recovery from a hurt shoulder. So don't expend lots of mental energy worrying about when are you going to recover, when am I going to be able to get back to doing this. I used to be able to dance the fandango, since that's what we're all doing tonight. We all love to do the fandango, apparently. I used to be able to dance the fandango and have a great old time, and now I've got this shoulder. Don't do that to yourself. Live in the now. Make sure that you get that balance between when to rest and when you can take action, because I'm not saying that you now need to go to bed and not come back out until your shoulder's healed. It's not like that at all. But you need to know what your limits are and just kind of live within them and enjoy the change of pace, like I'd kind of said at the start. For the overall lesson, or for the situation, we've got the Five of Wands. Okay, so I can see that this is bringing in a new dynamic for you. This is perhaps a situation that you're not used to. You're probably having to think about factors that you've not really had to consider before, Jonathan. And that might be difficult for you. That'll be a challenge for you. But like I'd kind of said earlier on, that kind of challenge aspect, that's something that we all have to deal with at some point. It would be brilliant if we could just live in a bubble and never have to deal with any kind of change that's enforced upon us, any unplanned eventualities. That would be great. But it's one of these lessons of life that we all learn. It's just not the way that no, it's not the way things work. So yeah, that's the reading that I see for you. I can add these up for you as well if you want and just see what it gives us. So if we say the King's 14, the Empress is 3, gives us 17 plus the 5, 17 and 22. 2 and 2 is 4. So we've got the Emperor, which I suppose links in with that King there. So yeah, assess your situation, be very methodical, know your limits, and don't try and kind of um, don't push yourself too hard. Think about the overall stability of your kingdom, which in your case is your family, it's your own health, your kind of general life, and do what's best for yourself. She said, I used to go out to party, but now I'm a mother, so I had to put aside my party side. I used to go out to do flagging music, not flagging a shoulder. And that shoulder is the one I used to carry my baby on. Name what you said here. Every time I formulate a question to ask you, I answer myself, girl, you already know. But I think I have one. Is trying to care less actually going to benefit me more? Okay. Is trying to care less going to benefit you more, Neem? Interesting. So you feel as though you care too much just now, and you're trying to change that? Really thirsty tonight for some reason. Like, you know what I'm like. Usually I've got a full cup of tea that's gone stone cold by the end of these lives, but I don't know. For some reason tonight I just feel really dehydrated. You're very welcome, Jonathan. I hope it kind of resonated and made sense to you. Don't know what happened there with the table cam. Right, so we'll do a wee situation. Ben, I've just got Coke Zero here. Advice. And outcome. Okay. So, Neem, the situation is you're trying to remove yourself from, what's maybe a difficult situation. But what you've just said there. So you've said that you think of everyone and you think of yourself last. You're always putting yourself last. So Six of Swords is you're trying to remove yourself from that. You're trying to remove yourself to calmer waters when you can perhaps spend more time in yourself. The advice for you in the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands, what I always want to say about the Queen of Wands is that all eyes are on you. There's a lot expected from you. The Queen of Wands is kind of like that celebrity energy, Everyone, when the Queen of Wands speaks, everybody listens. Everyone is interested in what she's doing and what she's got to say. And everyone has a real kind of admiration for the Queen of Wands. Now, why that's coming up for you in the advice position, I'm not sure. But maybe that might make sense to you, and maybe you can look at this Queen of Wands and know exactly what the advice is that it's got for you. But that's what I feel myself wanting to say to you about that. Queen of Wands can deal with the fire. So the Queen of Wands has got aspects of water and fire. She's got the water element associated with the Queen and the fire element associated with the Wands. Yeah. So what I would say to you is, regardless of how we go forward, you're going to be able to take the heat. Now, whether that's the heat of all the expectation on you and you having to turn around and say, "Do you know what? No, this is my time. I need to spend time on me." Whether that's where the heat's coming from, or whether you decide, actually, I've got responsibilities and I can't really put them to side. I can't just sail off on um, a big flying boat thing. Um, Either way, you're fully equipped to deal with that. The outcome, um, so I mean, what, what was your exact question, name? Actually, let's just get ourselves back there. Yeah. Is trying to care less going to benefit me more? The outcome that I see here isn't, it's not unicorns with rainbows flying out their buttholes, if I'm totally honest with you. The Ten of Wands as a burden card, it's it's almost that card of not being able to put stuff down, of biting off more than you can chew, and not being able to kind of maybe properly prioritize and deal with things in a methodical nature. It's almost like, you've got so much to do, it almost feels like an obligation now. Okay. So the way that things are going just now, Neem, whatever the decisions are that the mindset that you're in just now, the direction that things are going in just now, I don't see them being easier, if I'm totally honest. If you want if you want that situation to change and improve, then you're maybe going to have to come at it in a different way. Okay. Um, so yeah, that wasn't the best ending to a reading, was it? But hopefully it gives you food for thought, and it maybe just kind of lets you put yourself on a slightly different track that has perhaps a more positive kind of outcome, a better direction. Uh, I can say, as we all know, what happens when a Leo suppresses things, and you get the Ten of Fire right there. So yeah, I suppose. Right, let's add up. So we've got 13, 23, and 6 is 29, 9 and 2 is 11. So you can look at this as that 11 that comes with strength, or you can add the two ones and get 2, which is the High Priestess. So we've got that idea of strength, of letting the inside out, and then the High Priestess. It's interesting, right? Because the High Priestess is very much kind of, she keeps the inside. She barely says anything. She doesn't let you in. Whereas strength is all about learning to kind of let that beast out. Okay. Um, so yeah, I'll let you decide, Neem, whether both of those are for you or whether one of them is the overall tone for the reading. Um, for me, I'm feeling more High Priestess energy, just based on what you were saying about how you're putting yourself last all the time. It's almost that, like, kind of keeping yourself to yourself, not expressing what's on the inside. Maybe the key to the whole thing is actually in strength and being able to, it's not that you're going to turn around to, those who depend on you and say, "Do you know what, fuck yous, I'm having nothing more to do with you." That's not the idea. It's basically just letting them know, "Do you know what, I'm a person too, and I've got my needs, and, I'm, whilst I'm not going to just fly away on this flying boat and leave the scenario altogether, you do need to understand that, there are times when I need to put myself first." So there we go. Thus endeth the reading, and thus endeth the live, guys. I don't believe there were any more questions, whether that I've missed. Um, yeah, thank you so much to everyone who's here, who's joined me. You know how much I love doing these readings. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. And just being able to kind of catch up with everybody and let you hear me drone on for, what are we going on, an hour and a half now. So else is the end. Yeah, but Elle, remember what I said? You can, anytime you want, you send me a wee message and you can come on with me. How amazing would that be, guys, to have Elle on, throwing some cards down? How good would that be? Not to put any pressure on you or anything, Elle, but I mean, I seem to remember a certain someone put pressure on me. to make a channel, and here I am. Life hurdles, in most of which I allow others to throw in front of me and just jump and consider it my race. Okay, that's good. Thank you very much, Denise. That's really nice of you to say. Love us. Thank you. This was great. Right, cool, guys. Right, okay. Well, I'm going to love yous and leave yous all. Thank you so much again, and I will catch you all at some point over the weekend, I guess. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.